Exploring post-war Appalachia, you'll discover a world full of strange creatures, dark secrets, and many random encounters. In today's video, I'll be going through 10 different things you may have missed, including alien Easter eggs, evidence of a malevolent entity, and how to really embarrass a Sheepsquatch. Let's get started. Up first today, we're talking about the Owlet. A mutated juvenile owl, this used to be found in only one location, sitting beside the body of a cave diver in the deep. Finding it alive, however, was often tricky, as it shares a home with cave crickets, possibly one of the most overpowered and irritating enemies in the game. They would routinely make quick work of the Owlet, but as of patch 29, one will always spawn on top of Haven Church in the mire. Heading over there now and jumping on top of the roof, it comes charging over. Although they can hop quite fast and display as an enemy, they are harmless. Sadly for the Owlet, they also taste great. And killing it for the first time will actually unlock a new recipe, Owlet Nuggets. This is actually a pretty good option for anyone looking to buff intelligence, as it increases it by 2 alongside restoring some health. A nice detail carried over from 4.4 relates to the Protectron robot. Generally slow and dealing little energy damage, they aren't the toughest combatants. But like most robots, they have specific weaknesses, and targeting both arms and rendering them useless will cause them to enter a self-destruct sequence, attempting a final suicidal attack with an explosion similar to that of a mini-nuke. Legendary Protectrons will actually explode twice, but apparently in this instance at least, this variant with treads will actually simply run away when you get close. Facing off against some of Appalachia's biggest creatures can be tense in close quarters. Most can be blocked by melee weapons, however, and even unarmed blocks will parry some attacks. One creature in particular has some of the most drastic reactions to being blocked like this. The Sheepsquatch will reel backwards when successfully blocked. Displaying some of the most varied attacks, some can't be blocked however, launching its quills, the ground slam, but the reverse kick absolutely can, and if you can time it right, it will actually go flying. My timing was way off trying to get a snapshot of this, but you get the idea. Damaging it enough, we'll even see it topple to the ground sheepishly looking around, before getting straight back up again. Perhaps out of pure embarrassment, our test subject has had enough and toppled over a railing never to get up again. Added with Season 6, the light ally Maul is on a mission to find and kill Grognak the Barbarian, and you can actually confuse him by equipping a Grognak costume, which actually unlocks some unique dialogue.
This true. You do wear rags like King Grognak, very shiny, like unstoppable board game Grognak. But you puny, more like classic first edition Grognak. Maul not sure.
Travelling to random encounter locations around the map, a variety of different scenarios await you. A common theme though is meeting voiced NPCs. One travel encounter is this ragtag group of characters, the Brotherhood Bandits. Barnaby, Barry and Buck though are especially bad liars.
We are American citizens from America.
Yes, exactly. Steel. We're the Brotherhood of Steel. Wait, what did I say?
You can actually meet an actual member of the Brotherhood in a different encounter though.
Hello there.
Felton Reed requires your help in identifying impressive tech from his campsite. The items all vary but can include a toaster, microscope and a radio jammer. Heading back, you can choose which to recommend. You can suggest any of the items that you find, and he may agree with your pick or mention he's considering choosing a different set of items. Another random encounter, the Wandering Storyteller, is one of the few people in Appalachia with first-hand information on cryptids.
If you've got the time, I've got a tale.
He can normally be found at pre-existing campsites around the map. One such story details how his friend was snatched by the elusive Flatwoods monster.
With my own 2 eyes, I saw the creature zap him with a purple laser. And then the 2 of them vanished into the night.
Going into great detail about his purple lasers, he seems to be extremely lucky to have survived so many close encounters. You can actually have more close encounters of your own, once the seasonal event Invaders from Beyond is active. During the event's duration, new random events will actually spawn involving the Zetans. But a more mysterious scene encounter involves the man in black called the Emissary.
What is wrong, neighbor? Are you suddenly aware of your surroundings? If you would be so kind as to look this way.
If you kill him quickly enough or find him dead in a separate encounter, then you can actually loot him for the keycard for TNT Dome 8, at the Black Mountain Ordnance Works. Inside you can find evidence of alien experimentation. A dissected alien and a large screen displays the NPC Homer, the narrator during the Invaders from Beyond event, and these are two of the main features. But if you try to pick up a holotape called The Truth, or access the top secret terminal, then you'll have explosive results. As abundant as random encounters are Easter eggs, and here's a few of my favourites. Heading over to Point Pleasant, you'll find a small boat with a very large dolphin-looking creature splayed out on the deck. Still unsure what exactly this is, but you can find it in Fallout 4 as well. But this scene is of course a reference to Jaws. Near the bottom of the map this time you are finally awake, a nostalgic nod to anyone who's played Skyrim. This composition is an Easter egg of that opening carriage ride. Looking around you will also notice a Nuka bottle, and yes, most of these Easter egg scenes are actually possible locations that you can wake up at after consuming vintage Nuka. Another location you can also wake up at though is located near the Tyler County Fairgrounds, as you can take a load off at the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. Heading back to Point Pleasant, walking over to the side of the church, you can also find a door drawn in chalk, complete with an O for a doorknob, a reference to that important scene from the film Beetlejuice. But not all secrets and Easter eggs are found out in the wasteland. Some require a bit of reading, so up next we're heading to the Enclave bunker to have a read through two interesting entries on a terminal located in the command center. This will actually require that you're a member of the Enclave and have actually reached the rank of general. But heading up the stairs and past the vendors, the terminal in question is found in the back corner. Now these are full of interesting entries, but today we're just looking at two. The first is found in the Thomas Eckhart archive logs under an entry entitled Slaves. The entry is from another member of the Appalachian Enclave, and it's essentially a conspiracy theory claiming that everything in Appalachia is in fact part of a simulation built by Virtual Strategic Solutions. It's an interesting theory, and it isn't actually the first time that VSS have cropped up in a Fallout title. They first appeared in Fallout 3 and were responsible for the elaborate and dangerous Operation Anchorage simulation, the subject of that DLC, before appearing again in Fallout 4 as the creators of the virtual reality simulation but deemed as memories replaced. Both simulations were some of the most impressive seen in a Fallout title, and VSS certainly seemed to have the capabilities to create expansive virtual realities. The fears of this member though seem a little bit far-fetched, and they reference a way to end the simulation by destroying a town that they actually perceive to be China. But perhaps this isn't the last we've seen of VSS. The other terminal entry we're taking a look at is this conversation between two of the most complex artificial intelligences to appear in a Fallout title, Modus and the Zax computer that would go on to become President Eden. Found in the top secret archive section under Raven Rock Communications log, this conversation is mostly centered around a comparison between the two regarding data analysis. It transpires in the conversation that the Zax unit has a habit of rereading particular data biographies, because it finds it interesting. A concept Modus does not find interesting, with it more focused on creating new theoretical scenarios to test against. The exchange ends with the revelation that Zax is actually not too dissimilar from Modus after all. It too finds the data interesting because it wishes to create something from it. The data in question were historical biographies, and instead of creating a theoretical scenario, the Zax computer would go on to create a new personality, President Eden. On the surface, Sugar Grove was just another installation supporting the war effort. In actuality, it housed one of the most important intelligence facilities in the United States, focused on homeland security. Pre-war, it monitored seditious elements in Appalachia, like the mining strikes and the eventual secession of the Free States. But exploring the facility, you can discover something much darker. All the data the surveillance facility acquired was stored in this extensive archival system, and heading to the back and far left, a black site key can be found in this overturned box. Heading outside into the back of the main building, the key is used with this terminal to unlock a new section of the facility. Clearing out some walls and taking a look around, this area is actually filled with locked cells. Locating these keys will unlock most, but continuing to move around this circular shaped interior, we discovered this room, the test chambers. And this is the Somnus initiative, a United States Navy project focused on turning abducted Americans into sleeper agents for use in operations on domestic soil. You can actually learn more about the victims of the initiative on terminals located in the facility. Abducted victims would often be individuals without immediate family and the ability to move around without suspicion, like one park ranger who had a cover story the job provided. The success of the initiative was mixed, and there's a lot more to learn at this location, and it's definitely worth looking through more thoroughly. Leaving the man-made horrors of Project Somnus behind, we finish today's video with a Lovecraftian unknowable horror, the Interloper. The existence of the Interloper isn't much of a secret anymore for most players. Newer players perhaps haven't yet found themselves heading down into the deep dark depths of Lucky Hole Mine, but doing so will reveal cultists worshipping this large dormant creature. I had heard that praying to it yourself will actually speed up the subtle tentacle movements, but it seems that this actually has no effect. Attacking though will draw blood, seemingly without doing any damage. This creature still remains one of Fallout 76's biggest mysteries. Trying to unravel exactly what it is though, there is one theory we can investigate. Beginning at Point Pleasant, we're going to be retracing the steps of one Mothman cultist called Jeff Lane. We find a holotape entitled Interloper.
I have heard a tale of this entity made real, deep in the earth. And the storyteller was mad by any reckoning, but his story, no less true. My name is Jeff Lane, and I will lay bare this Watcher. No matter how deep I must go, I will come to know the true nature of the Interloper.
Giving it a listen, he appears steadfast in a personal mission to discover the truth of the creature, referring to it as the Interloper, the creature that does not belong. His journey led him to the mine, of course, and heading inside ourselves we can actually find another holotape entitled The Chosen. Listening to this, and it would appear that Jeff has already undergone a change.
The Interloper is here. I can feel it clearly. Last night, in visions more real than the senses, it called to me, and I go to it now. Signs are all around that I am not the only one to hear the call, though where they have failed, I will not, for it summons me alone in the end. Before I go deeper, for the truth revealed changes all. By its very nature, let it be known, in this world, the Interloper has chosen Jeff Lane as the conduit of the unknowable. Together, the hidden reality becomes manifest at long last.
Jeff speaks of being chosen, becoming a conduit of the unknowable. The creature we find is otherworldly, but the semblance of limbs can also be seen. It seems likely then that Jeff Lane in some capacity is also this creature, becoming a living conduit or host for the entity. Looking around this space, 5 signature Kirby heads can also be found staring at us and the creature. And we can find another one at Tanagra Town. Before scaling the tree though, heading inside this building off to the side, entering through a locked door, using the passcode 748250, we find an abandoned Enclave research post. Underneath some discarded paper, located here, a note entitled "Didn't Want to Hurt Them" can be picked up. Something made its author do something terrible, and they resolved to destroy the research for an unknown reason. The telepathic powers of the Interloper were strong enough to summon cultists from all around Appalachia to feed it jars full of human blood. Blood taken from victims, and even their own. I won't go too deep into this as this topic can easily be its own video. Wrapping up this immediate mystery, heading inside the cave found scaling Tanagra Town, we find another Kirby head. What the research was the Enclave discovered still remains a mystery. But with that, we've reached the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed these hidden secrets and details found in Fallout 76. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this particular video, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. To close out January, we have our first monthly camp showcase releasing tomorrow, and we'll also have plenty more Fallout 76 videos releasing soon, so turning on the bell icon is definitely the best way to stay up to date. With that said though, I'm off. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.